What's the market doing in Idaho Falls, Idaho? In this video, we're going to talk about the first quarter of 2025 so that you can have an accurate, current view of the real estate market right here in the Bonneville County, and we'll talk a little bit about the surrounding areas too. You ready? Let's get started. What's up, guys? My name is Annika Wilder. I am a local realtor here in the East Idaho area. If you're thinking about moving here, whether it's next week or next year, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call, and I'll be happy to help. Now, if you're new to my channel and you want to know more about Idaho Falls and the surrounding areas, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and you'll be the first to know about all things life in Idaho Falls. Okay, let's talk about the real estate market. Now, I pulled my data from Bonneville County specifically. Although I cover all of East Idaho, I'm licensed in all of Idaho, but to get very specific, I just chose Bonneville County because this is the largest county. It's got the most movement. It's a great way to see the snapshot of the rest of East Idaho. So these numbers don't include the surrounding towns of Shelley, Rigby, Ryrie, etc. This is just Bonneville County. Q1 of 2025 has been great. Lots of movement. Overall, lots of selling, lots of buying, and some homes are sitting, some homes are selling fast. So let's get into the nitty-gritty details, starting with inventory. Currently, we have 368 active listings on the market and 311 listings that sold in the last 3 months, which means inventory is actually on the rise. In fact, in January 2024, inventory was at 229, February was at 227. But this year, January of 2025, we had 384 active listings and 377, which is a huge increase from the year before for those months of January and February. Now, when I was looking at the numbers, I realized that inventory started going up around April of last year, with a height at September 2024. So inventory was even higher in Q4 of last year than it is in Q1 of this year. What's interesting about this is in this Q1, these numbers of inventory, this is the highest it's been since 2016. Which is an indication that more people are seeing that things are settling down, normalizing, people are wanting to sell more. It's also an indicator that homes aren't selling as quickly as that 2020, 21, 22 rush from the pandemic. And so we're finally seeing some normalization from the last few years. A large chunk of the current active listings are in that $300,000 to $400,000 price range, with 97 homes on the market. Between $400,000 and $450,000, we have 42 active listings, and between $500,000 and $600,000 price point, we have 58 active listings on the market right now. So that main activity in the market is between that $300,000 to $600,000 price point. Now, it drops off significantly with inventory levels after $600,000. And if you're in the luxury market, there's only 20 active listings right now over $1 million here in the Bonneville County. Now let's talk about how long are these homes taking to sell. So the average days on market back in 2020 was absolutely wild. Homes were selling so quickly. The average days on market has subtly increased over the last few years. It was kind of settling around that 50 to 60 days on market time frame, but right now for Bonneville County, it's about 79 days on market for our active listings. Now, if we take out Irwin, Swan Valley, Palisades, that whole area over there, because that's a whole different market. It's a luxury market, it's a cabin market, it's a recreational market that's an hour away from Idaho Falls. If we took that out and just had the direct like Idaho Falls, Ammon area, it's about 72 days on market. So it's not that much different, but it is higher if we include that market in that Swan Valley area. Now that is what's currently on the market. For those that have sold in the last 3 months, it's about 62 days. So it took about 2 months for the homes to sell that sold in Q1. Now keep in mind, anything under that 300,000 price point is going to sell a lot quicker than anything above that price point. That's a lot of first-time home buyers. It's just more affordable. And so those homes have a much faster turnaround time than any other higher price point. And then anything over that 700 and 1,000 plus price point is going to take much, much longer. So if you're thinking about selling in the East Idaho area, definitely give yourself a lot of time if you're over the price point of 700,000. Now, something really interesting, there wasn't a single home that closed in the first quarter that was over $1 million. There were about 6 that went pending. We have about 6 pendings right now for that over $1 million price point. But for the houses that are on the market right now over $1 million, they've been on the market for over 100 days, averaging about 120 days on market. Now, our month supply inventory right now for all of Bonneville County is about 3.5 months. And according to the National Association of Realtors, anything under 6 months supply of inventory is considered a seller's market. So we are at 3.5 months, so that is considered technically a seller's market. In my opinion, it really does feel very balanced, but that's because things have been pretty wild the last few years, and as things settle down, it continues to feel more and more balanced. Lastly, let's talk about average home prices here in Bonneville County. The average list price is about $428,000. However, the average sold price is floating around $410,000. This is about a 96% list to sold ratio. So homes are selling for about 96% of the original list price. So there are some price changes that are happening. In fact, there's been a lot more price changes happening in the last year than in the years before. So a lot of price changes, which tells me that sellers are starting really high for various reasons. Maybe they bought at the height of the market, they're trying to get more. Every seller wants more, or maybe they're not taking a granular look at this market data like we provide in our listing appointments in the Anderson Hicks group. We really want to list right where the market is at so that homes don't sit longer than they need to be. And typically when you price it right according to the market data that I'm talking about, it sells faster and often for more than what you were expecting. So pricing it according to the market data is super, super important, but I digress. Now let's talk about price per square foot, because I learned recently in some places like Twin Falls, the average home price is lower than Idaho Falls, but their price per square foot is significantly higher. So I like to look at price per square foot instead of just the average home price, because it can be a little deceiving when you get so much more home for the price here in Idaho Falls than you would in places like Twin Falls, which is only 2 hours away, and of course in places like Salt Lake City, Oregon, any of the surrounding states around us. So on average, Bonneville County is ranging from 160 a square foot to 180 a square foot, depending on your price point. There's some homes that are a lot higher, like in the 600, 700,000 price range. The price per square foot is around that $180 per square foot, because those homes tend to have higher end finishes, bigger lots. So that could be that reasoning. For the average price of 500, 400,000, you're around 150 to 160 dollars per square foot. Now let's check out the most expensive house and the least expensive house that sold last quarter in Bonneville County. The most expensive house was this beautiful house at 4480 East Cherokee Heights Circle in Idaho Falls. It was a 6-bed, 3-bath house, almost 4,600 square feet, built in 2008. It's a beautiful custom home. As you could tell, it's luxurious in every corner of the house. It's also on 2 acres, and it sold for $935,000. The least expensive house is this cute little 520 square foot home on 15th Street in Idaho Falls, which it sold for $184,200 and was built in 1950. Had some updates and was perfect for just one person or a couple, little first-time home buyer, starter home, or even a rental property. As you can tell, we have quite the range of homes which I've shown before, and I have another video coming out that shows a lot more of what you can buy in that $300,000 to $400,000 price range, including brand new townhomes, existing homes, homes on acreage. There's a lot here in Idaho Falls in different price ranges. So we have some homes under $200,000 and we have homes way up into the millions. So it just depends on what you're looking for. The last point I wanted to make is rates. Everybody is talking about rates right now. You may have noticed rates really aren't budging right now. They have ranged from 6 to 6.5% in all of Q1. The lowest rate I have seen with a lender that I've been talking to is 5.8%. So they really are staying firm in the low to mid 6% range. And a lot of experts are saying that they're probably not going to come down much more than that for the rest of the year. My personal prediction is I think we will see some below 6%, a little bit more. I think we'll see maybe 5.5% sometime this year, but really plan on it being in that 6% range for the rest of the year. Well, in conclusion, there's a lot of movement going on here in Bonneville County. There's sellers being able to sell for top dollar, there's buyers being able to find deals, and one of my favorite things that's happening right now is both buyers and sellers are working together to create a mutually beneficial situation. And one example is that there's a buyer who wants to buy a home and the rates are a little bit high, so they are asking the sellers to pay for a rate buy down. So if your rate is at 6.5%, they're asking for a 2-1 buy down, which means the buyer could get into the home initially for the entire first year at 4.5%, 2 points lower than the current rate. Now this is temporary, and I have some pros and cons about that in another video, but the sellers are willing to help buyers out, at least temporarily have a more affordable situation, and at the same time, sellers are able to sell because both parties are working together. So this is why I feel like it's actually a very balanced market. Sellers are being really reasonable in repairs and working with buyers' closing costs. I'm seeing a lot of that as I represent a lot of buyers, and as I work with sellers, they have sympathy for the buyers right now because a lot of sellers bought homes with lower interest rates, so they can feel the impact that higher interest rates have. Although historically, interest rates are still pretty average, pretty low compared to what we've seen in the past, but it definitely feels high, coupled with the high price of homes too. Another thing that I think is important to point out with homes here in Idaho Falls and the surrounding area is Idaho is pretty by the book. We have some really amazing legally drafted forms that we've been using for years that protect both the sellers, buyers, and agents. And sellers are expecting for pre-approval letters or proof of funds. If your home buying is contingent on your current home selling, they definitely want to see your home on the market or with a plan for it to be on the market or already a buyer before they might even consider your offer. So if you're thinking about moving to Idaho Falls and just throwing in an offer, you'll definitely want to get your pre-approval from your lender or proof of funds if it's cash. And if your home needs to sell, get it on the market now. All of those things the sellers would love to see, and it positions your offer above the other offers that you might be competing with, because we do have competing situations more often than you would think out here. And if you are contingent on your home selling, another thing that I'm seeing a lot of right now is sellers are accepting contingent offers with the right of refusal or the right to continue to market, or both, where that means they will keep their house on the market to receive backup offers or to have a right of refusal, which could be 24 hours, 48 hours, or 72 hours, which basically means you would be under contract, they accept your offer, but if they get another offer that they like better than yours, you would have 24, 48, or 72 hours, or whatever terms they put in there, to then quickly remove your contingency. And if you aren't able to remove your contingency, then you're essentially booted out, they pick the other offer, and we find you another home. So again, it is still a seller's market, so I'm seeing a lot of that going on right now, so keep that in mind with a contingent offer. Now, they don't always get booted out. I have had many success stories where we've done contingent offers, you sell your home, we're able to close on your home here, but there's also been a few where homes haven't sold in time and sellers have gotten another offer and we've lost the home and had to find another home. But that's why you partner with a skilled realtor to help you navigate this whole situation. And my team and I are very knowledgeable in the regards to our market and what's going on and how we can position you the best way possible that will help you feel comfortable for your next move here to Idaho. I think that's everything. If you have any questions about what's going on in the real estate market in Bonneville County or the rest of East Idaho, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Or you could also just comment below as well. Again, my name is Annika Wilder. I am a realtor here in the East Idaho area, and no matter what the market is doing, no matter what the rates are doing, the best time to buy or sell real estate is the best time for you. And if that's in the next week or the next year, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I'll be happy to help make your move smooth. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.